And the next game, I think this is probably the biggest upset potential because these two teams are evenly matched.
Philly, by the way.
I don't think either way, Bills or Ravens, like if the Bills win, it's not really an upset. These teams are evenly matched. The Ravens are a better team, and it showed with how many more players they had on their All-Pro and the Pro Bowl teams.
Are they evenly matched?
Lamar just
it's like it's a matchup where if you look at the Bills win, you won't say they shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not like a crazy upset.
If they win, it's because Josh Allen is a superhero.
Which he can be.
I agree.
Yeah, you know?
I agree. I believe very passionately, I should say.
I think Lamar can.
I think...
fucking goofy.
It's not the craziest thing I've heard.
Nothing we haven't seen before. You know?
Write these down, fellas.
Wait. Can I finish?
It's nothing we haven't seen before, Drew.
I believe in 2025 Lamar Jackson's playoff run.
I'm sure you said that in 2023, 2022, 2021.
I believe in him.
You know, I know he said it.
I'm giving him my stamp. I believe in him.
Lamar to the day I die.
You might die.
It
might be this week. You might go to...
I'll say this. Lamar, I'm begging. Don't play like shit.
Don't? No.
Please.
If Lamar
I think he's gonna play
plays like
This was like y'all last year. You're like, what are you gonna do when the Celtics don't win the championship?
I didn't say that.
Fucking goofy shit, man.
Why
Lamar's not gonna play
Why
bad.
are you grouping me in that?
You know,
well, no, he said. Then y'all over there giggling.
No, because it's
the same shit. It's the same shit. One person says it. You're
Bro, I'm just saying, I need him to play well. I want him to play well. I think he will play well. I believe the MVP of this game is going to be Derrick Henry.
Joel.
I think Derrick Henry is still the most important piece for them to win this game. The disadvantage is because the Buffalo's defense
as a whole.
Correct. But their big issue has been this season their rush defense.
You've been saying it about the last 2-3 years. They rush defense.
It's been a fact. Yeah. It's been a fact.
But they had some guys hurt.
They did.
What was that, week 3? Whatever it was. So I don't think it makes the biggest difference, but it helps.
I watched Derrick Henry. It doesn't matter who he's going up against. He's going to dominate their defensive line. And once he gets into that second level of the defense, that's when he really makes his mark.
I smell a split-aside difference here.
I mean, listen, you guys talked about it before, you know, how badly I need the Bills to win this game. And if my bracket's gonna be busted,
you might as well just go with it. You might as well.
It's not gonna be this week. I think the Bills are in trouble here.
Oh, okay.
Like I really think the Bills are in trouble. We talk about the injuries they had when they faced off in week 4. It was a very long time ago. The Bills got smoked. They got demolished up front.
Got embarrassed.
Yep.
Sean McDermott, his defenses are always like that's how he plays defense all the time. But this is what scares me about this matchup is that if you look at how the Bills play their defense, they deploy 5 defensive backs on the field at 95.6% of their snaps and 95.6% of their snaps. And the Ravens use 12 personnel at the second highest rate of any team in the NFL, which means that you're going to have a mismatch with a tight end or a fullback going out to block a corner or a safety. And I think that they just have a clear advantage up front against the Buffalo Bills. Roger Rosengarten, the rookie right tackle, has played much better of recently. Yeah, he played amazing. He really took T.J. Watt out the game last week.
Which was nuts. I never seen it.
It's hard to do.
And Von Miller is lining up there now, and that's going to be his matchup. You know, I feel comfortable in Roger Rosengarten. But really, it's the number one thing for the Bills is how can we stop the run? That's the number one thing. And I just don't believe they're going to be able to stop the run. Derrick Henry ran all over them the first time that they played. And then the Bills also play a lot of zone defense. Yeah. Lamar Jackson this year against zone defense, 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 119.1 rating, 9.5 yards per attempt. He averages a first down per pass against zone defenses. This has been his strong suit, and Derrick Henry has 119 rushing. He had 119 rushing yards over expectation in the first matchup against the Bills. It's because those second-level defenders could not tackle him.
That first play set immediate tone.
So I think that game, what it taught me about what the Bills need to do is that their entire game plan needs to be scrapped. And they need to come into this game with a brand new philosophy, a brand new scheme.
New plan, huh?
Is it going to
just go from the back way? You got to go through the front way?
You cannot. Is it going to be deploying heavier personnel on there?
Shit gets boring.
So they're going to put on the side and just...
Is it going to be them deploying heavier personnel that might be, is it going to be them blitzing Lamar Jackson and trusting their corners? I think that's a possibility just because Zay Flowers might not play in this game. And I think that can swing things a little bit. If Zay Flowers is not out there, that's a huge loss for the Ravens.
Shotty B.
Yeah, he's playing really well.
Amazing.
But
this
I mean,
year,
if you got both of them, it makes it even better and harder to defend. So, I'm just interested to seeing how Sean McDermott comes into this game, because we know how his defenses have looked against top-level offenses in the playoffs through the years. He doesn't play aggressive. He plays a little bit too conservative. And if you play like that against Lamar Jackson and you're not able to generate a pressure at a high level, you're going to get picked apart. Lamar Jackson and Ravens this year, this offense, he's facing quick pressures at the second lowest rate in the NFL. He has one of the longest time to throws because he's scrambling and he creates for himself, but the offensive line holds up quickly. It holds up for a long time. So I just feel like the Ravens have a clear advantage. Now, if you're telling me that Lamar Jackson is going to forget how to play football and not play well, then yeah, the Bills probably win this game, right? But no, I think Lamar Jackson is going to play just fine. I think he's going to play great, and I think they're going to win on the road.
I believe in this team. Do I think the Baltimore Ravens are better? I do. I think it's funny because I feel like Baltimore is a bad matchup for Buffalo. I think Buffalo and Kansas City, I think Buffalo will probably be better in that type of matchup. And I think KC is a bad matchup for Baltimore. So I think these three teams are very dependent on who they play. I believe in this team because of two reasons. And I think they're going to win because of two reasons. It's because they got Superman in the backfield. It's because they're in Buffalo. That is the only two reasons why I believe they're going to win this game. I feel like Josh Allen has to have his best game of his life against the Baltimore Ravens. I do think it's a lot of disadvantage. You mentioned it. Derrick Henry's going to be able to run over them. Lamar's going to be able to extend plays. He's going to be able to make plays in the rushing game. I don't know if Zay Flowers is playing.
He didn't practice
probably
today.
out.
Yeah, so if he's out, I guess that makes you feel more comfortable in the fact that you're going up against these wide receivers, so you don't need too many defensive backs. But you mentioned it. McDermott doesn't really change much up in the playoffs.
I watched Sutton kind of kill.
Well, Sutton's kind of better than everybody outside of Zay Flowers. You know what I'm saying?
Shotty B can get open.
That's fair. I still think Cortland Sutton is like a bit of a dog in his own right.
Thank you.
For Buffalo, though, this offense needs to get it going. They can't be no slouches. They are a team that also can control time of possession. I think they're going to have to do that in this game, specifically use a lot of James Cook. Use a lot of Josh Allen in the run game. Use a lot of Khalil Shakir in the short yardage game. Be consistent with Curtis Samuel. He got a little bit of love last week. You just have to be able to take away. You just have to keep Baltimore off the field. If you're able to keep Baltimore off the field, you can able to keep this a low-scoring game. Keep it to where you can, be able to see everything in front of you. But like I mentioned, I do believe Josh Allen's going to turn into Superman. I think he'll have to in this particular matchup. So I got Buffalo winning.
You know where I'm going. But this game is really about the quarterbacks, man. It's about Lamar.
Really?
It's about Josh Allen. I do think Derrick Henry's going to have a big game because it's Derrick Henry. And there's going to be pieces on Buffalo, whether it's offense, defense. People are going to make plays. But at the end of the day, when this game is over, the story is going to be about the quarterbacks. Because you're going to have MVP number 1, MVP number 2. One of these guys are going to be going home in the second round, right? Last season, it was Josh Allen who lost to Kansas City Chiefs in the second round. Lamar was able to make it the championship game. He got beat. But it's really about these quarterbacks and I think how they're going to be perceived on this season. Because although they had great regular seasons, phenomenal regular seasons, it's going to look like an absolute failure. For better or for worse, if you go out in the second round of the playoffs. The fact that you didn't even make it to the conference championship game, you didn't even get invited to the fucking Arrowhead Invitational that's become every single year here, never had a chance to even really sniff the Super Bowl. For better or for worse, that's what the storyline is going to be. When we come out of this game on Sunday night and we record either Sunday, Monday, whenever it is, we're going to say, damn, man, is Josh Allen ever going to be able to get over the hump? Is Lamar Jackson, are they ever going to be able to put a team together and he's going to step up in the playoffs and finally get over the hump and win the Super Bowl? For better or for worse, that's what this conversation is going to be. So I'm expecting both these quarterbacks to go out there and play their ass off. We already know what they can do, what they did do in the regular season. They asked Lamar Jackson about, do you remember what happened last time when you played Buffalo? They lost 17-3. They got their ass kicked. They could not do anything on offense. He's like, yeah, I didn't want to go back and watch it, but I remembered it. He's like, I didn't want to go back and see, but I remember what happened. He's like, me and Josh, one day when we retire, we're going to laugh about it, but right now we're not. He's like, I'm a competitor.
I think they're actually really cool, too.
I think they are, but he's like, right now, it's like, we're competing. Like, that's my competitor. I'm not cool with, I'm not going to be out here joking with him pregame or anything like that. But this is the game of the year to me. Like, we're going to get a Super Bowl. It's going to be like Philly or Detroit against Casey or one of these teams, whatever it's going to be. But this is game of the year because, to me, these are the two best quarterbacks in the NFL this season. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes. You want to take him in a one-game winner-take-all. I get it, whatever. This season, these have been the two best quarterbacks.
That's what he had to say.
And two of the most efficient offenses in NFL history. One of these teams are going to advance and go to Kansas City most likely, and the other one is going to be an absolute failure of a season. And that's what the media is about, and that's what podcasts are about, and it's going to be really fucking nasty, especially if it's one of these guys because of his track record in the playoffs. But I do think Baltimore comes through in this game, and I think the missing piece is just fucking Derrick Henry, man. The fact that whenever something goes wrong, you could hand the ball off to Derrick Henry and on any given play get 6 to 80 yards. And that's where he gives you. And as good as James Cook has been this year, and he's been phenomenal, right? Set the record or second most ever touchdowns by Buffalo Bills running back. He's been great this year. Josh Allen really does have to do basically all of it by himself. He's got to consistently extend plays. He's got to consistently make guys get open by extended plays. Lamar Jackson does that at just a high, if not higher level, but he also has the luxury of having one of the best running backs in NFL history behind him. And the fact that they can be that dynamic and that different on offense, although Buffalo can run the ball, the fact that they're one of the best rushing teams, not the best rushing team in football, that's the game changer for me, as well as the defense. I do think Baltimore's defense, I still don't think it's elite. I do trust him more than Buffalo going into this matchup. Lamar, get it done. Go to KC, get that done. Let's have a legacy year, man. Let's win a Super Bowl.
You know what this is reminiscent of for me? Remember when Giannis won back-to-back MVPs, went into the playoffs, got schemed up against, fell short, didn't even make the ECF, and now we're talking about a failure of a season, and one of the main reasons why we didn't go 3 years in a row of seeing Giannis be an MVP. What did he follow it up with? A championship run. Finals MVP. Now you look at Lamar Jackson, soon to be back-to-back MVP, soon to be 3-time MVP. What has history shown us in Lamar Jackson in the playoffs? He doesn't arrive at the moment. This is his time to show I am an all-time great. Yep. I am legitimately one of the best to ever play the position. I'm going up against one of the best of our generation in Josh Allen. And if I go out there and I outperform my contemporary, who also is going to finish number 2 in MVP this year, who a lot of people feel as if should be the MVP over me, I can silence a lot in this one game. There's a lot on the line for Lamar Jackson. It is not even a conversation to me when I look at the two of Josh Allen versus Lamar. I know Josh Allen has arrived at the moment in the playoffs. He hasn't had the wins, obviously, like the Patrick Mahomes. So we can't talk about Josh Allen in that same light. The thing with Lamar Jackson is he has the MVPs. He has that hardware. He has zero to show me in the playoffs. This is his season to show I am one of the greatest.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think that there's just so much more for Josh Allen to overcome against this Ravens defense. This is just one stat I mentioned about the matchup, and we know Josh Allen loves to scramble. He scrambles on 19.2% of his dropbacks, and he runs on 44.5% of his scrambles, which is a pretty healthy balance between him passing and him running the ball. Now, their first matchup, Josh Allen had 5 carries for 21 yards, and that's because the Ravens defense, they allow 5.2 yards per pass attempt on scrambles and allow quarterbacks to pass over the line of scrimmage on 28.7% of scrambles, which is the second lowest. This is a defense that really controls the line of scrimmage, and they force quarterbacks to stay within the pocket. And what I saw a lot in that first matchup is whenever Josh Allen got out the pocket, there was either somebody chasing him. We saw that with the play that he got the concussion on. There were people swarming him. There were people taking away those options underneath. So he didn't really have any openings to really throw the ball into or to scramble into. And I think that's going to be a big thing at play in this matchup. If they can contain him at a similar level to what they did week 4, it's going to look rough. You know, this is when we saw them last time, the Ravens dominated this matchup. And I don't think it was because of like a lucky game or nothing. I just think they just match up better with them up front and in all areas. And I think the Ravens have gotten better from that moment. And I think the Bills' defense has gotten worse from that moment. So, I don't know. I feel like Josh Allen has to overcome more in this game. But we'll see how it plays out.